Well, hello, boys and girls. This is lesson number 63 from the 4th grade Excel. And today we're going to be learning about measurement equivalents for meters, kilometers, kilograms, and dozen. And we're going to also take a look at converting yards to feet and inches. And also comparing things to find out what's heavier, lighter, longer, shorter, things like that. So we've got just a lot of measurement stuff to learn today. This can be a little bit tricky, so I hope you pay real close attention. We're going to be starting off right here and learning that the prefix kilo means 1,000. Just like you've learned that cent means 100, as in 100 cents in a dollar, the prefix kilo means 1,000. So in 1 kilogram, there are 1,000 grams. So you have kilogram means 1,000 grams. 1,000 meters is called a kilometer. See, kilo, you don't really say it like that, but you have kilo and then meter or kilometer. Other equivalents, we have 100 centimeters in a meter. Cent is 100, so you have centimeter, meaning 100 meters, or 100 centimeters, in 1 meter. It's not really 100 meters. And then there are 12 items in 1 dozen. You probably know that from eggs, right? 12 dozen eggs, or 12 eggs in a dozen. All right, now we're going to take a look at doing some little bit trickier conversions. When you have to convert a combination measurement, it requires 2 steps. So let's take a look at this first problem here and try to understand what we're doing. We have 2 feet and then 3 inches equals blank inches. So I'm going to draw a line here to kind of help you to understand that. Let's say that's a foot. I know that's not quite a foot long, but it might be on the screen. I don't know. And then that's a foot. And then you have like 3 inches right here. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to put all 3 of these together to see how many inches these are. Well, if this is a foot, most of you probably know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, right? And then you've got another foot, that's equal to 12 inches. And then you have 3 inches. It tells you 3 inches right here. So 3 inches is 3 inches. All we have to do now is put all 3 of these amounts of inches together to get our total number of inches, which is what's being asked for. And so what they did first was they did 12 times 2 because we have this 1 foot here and the 1 foot there, and that's 2 feet times 12 inches in each foot, and 12 times 2 is 24, of course. And then they just added the 3 inches on right there onto the 24 to get 27, so the answer is 27 inches. Let's try number 2 together. It says 1 yard 5 inches equals blank inches. So let's pretend like that's a yard, and then you have a certain number of inches left over. We want to know how many inches this whole thing is. Well, in order to know that, we have to know how many inches are in that yard. Do you know how many inches are in a yard? Well, if you don't, you could kind of back up and say, well, do you know how many inches are in a foot? And most of you know that there are 3 feet in a yard. So this could be a foot right here, a foot right there, and a foot right there. And if there's 12 inches in a foot, which we just talked about in the last problem, then there are 36 inches in a yard. That's something that you just kind of got to memorize, and the more you do math problems, the more you work with math, the more easily you'll have that memorized. So 36 inches in a yard. That's for this, okay, and remember we're changing it in inches, and then we have 5 more inches. Just think of this as kind of like plus, 1 yard plus 5 inches. Well, 1 yard is 36 inches, plus 5 inches is equal to 41 inches. You have to always justify your thinking, show evidence of how you got your answer by doing a problem like this. So 36 inches, 5 inches is 41. All right, pause the video, just do number 3, and then turn it back on for the solution. So this says 4 yards, 2 feet equals blank feet. Now I bet some of you did the inches in this. We're not dealing with any inches. Okay, if you dealt with inches, I want you to pause the video and go back and fix your answer before I even go over it. We're going from yards to feet. and feet to feet. We're not dealing with any inches here. So you got to make sure that you're knowing the conversion that you're doing before. You can't just pick some random number. Oh, 4 yards. Oh yeah, 36 inches in a yard. Well, there's no inches anywhere here. So pause the video and fix it if you did that. All right, so how many feet are there in a yard? Well, here's a yard, and we just split it up over here. 1 yard is 3 feet. So 4 yards would be 4 times 3, right? 3 yards in each foot, 4 yards. And that's equal to 12 feet, right? And you don't have to put that FT in there. I just want to make sure it's clear to you. And then we have plus, right, an extra 2 feet. 12 plus 2 is equal to 14. So the answer is 14 feet. Did you get it right? Or did you do 4 times 36 and get some big giant number? Okay, well, be careful. You got to know what you're converting here. Go ahead and pause the video and do number 4 and then turn it back on when you're ready for the solution. All right, so we're doing 1 yard, 2 feet equals how many inches? Now here we are going to inches, right? So we have to change this 1 yard into inches. And this is not 2 inches, it's 2 feet. We have to change the 2 feet into inches and then add those, put those together. Now, if you didn't change those into inches, again, why don't you pause the video and fix your answer before you watch me do it. So first I have to decide how many inches are in that 1 yard. Well, we already did that back here on number 2. 1 yard is equal to 36 inches. How many inches are in 2 feet? Well, now we've got to do another little problem for that. And we did that right up here. 2 feet equals how many inches? So we're going to do 12, oops, that didn't look too great, times 2, and that's 24 inches, right? And then you have to add that. You might want to write it up and down. I'm having a little trouble writing small with my stylus here, but you might want to put it up and down. But I can kind of add this in my head. I've got 6 and 4 makes 10. And then I carry the 1 over there, and 3 and 2 makes 5. Plus my regrouping of the 1s into the 10s gives me 6. And so the answer is, this is 36 inches, that's 24 inches. Put them together and you get 60 inches. Did you get that one right? All right, let's keep moving on here. For each problem, draw a circle around the letter representing the correct answer. Sometimes you will need to convert one of the choices. And if the answer is not super obvious, you need to justify your thinking by converting one of the choices so that it matches up with the other choice. I'll explain what that means in just a second. Select the indicated distance. Okay. So that you have to read the directions. It says shorter. Which one's shorter? And this is not there when they give you the problem. I wish they wouldn't even have that on there. But it's going to say something like 22 inches and 2 feet. Which one's shorter? Well, 22 inches and 2 feet are really close together. So what you have to do is do 2 times 12 with your feet and get 24. 24 inches, right? 2 feet is 24 inches. Well, now I can compare these. 24 inches and 22 inches. The shorter distance is the 22 inches. Okay, let's do number 6 together. We'll just kind of stay together on this stuff here. It says longer. Which one's longer, 3 miles or 56 centimeters? Now, these are nowhere near each other, so you don't need to do any conversion on this to figure it out. Besides, we don't really know how many centimeters are in a mile anyway, because this is American Standard measurement system, and this is the metric system way of measuring length or distance. So what you want to do is just think about this. 3 miles. Well, that's like when you're in your car and you're driving for like, if you're on the freeway, you're going to be driving for like 3 minutes to go 3 miles. That's a long way. 56 centimeters, a centimeter is like on your paper is about this big. It's about the width of your pinky. 56 widths of pinkies. Is that going to be longer than 3 miles? No way. That's not even close. So go ahead and circle A because that's a lot longer. All right, this next one, they're pretty close, and I want to know which one's shorter. So what I want you to do is actually convert one of these into the other one. It's going to be easiest to convert the A one and figure, actually going to convert both of them. Convert both of them into inches for me, and then figure out which one's shorter. So pause the video right down here, convert both into inches, and then turn it back on and see what I did. All right, so you have 4 yards, and from the page before, from the part that we've already done, you should know that there are 36 inches in a yard. So the first thing I'm going to do is convert this into inches. 36 times 4. 6 times 4 is, some of you have a hard time with this, you've got to memorize these, 24. Carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 more makes 14. So that's 144 inches. Now we just learned how to change things like this into inches. So I've got 12 times 2, right? There's 12 inches in a foot, 2 feet, that's 24, plus 7 more inches makes 31 inches. Oh my, okay, well that's not even close to 144 inches. So which one of these is shorter, 31 inches or 144 inches? You should have picked B. This work down here totally justifies your thinking and shows what the answer is. All right, so we are going to do 3 more problems just like the last one. I want you to pause the video, do 8, 9, and 10. If any of these are close and you can convert them, then go ahead and do that. All right, let's take a look at number 8. Which one's heavier, 4 grams or 3 kilograms? Now, we just learned earlier that a kilogram, this kilo means 1,000. So this is 3,000 grams. This is equal to 3, add this to your paper if you didn't do this, 3,000 grams, or 4 grams. Which one's heavier, 3,000 or 4? I mean, that's easy. Okay. Which one's lighter, 2 pounds or 46 kilograms? Well, a kilogram is 1,000 grams, so this is 46,000 kilograms. And a kilogram, I can tell you, we've learned this before, weighs about what a brick weighs. Okay, do you think 46 bricks would be lighter than 2 pounds? No way. 2 pounds is definitely going to be lighter. There's no really way to give evidence and convert on these, but on this one there. Okay, finally lighter, 3 grams or 2 tons. A ton is like the weight of a car. So if you have 2 cars or you have 3 grams, grams is what you measure things like your pencil with. So a pencil might weigh 3 grams or 2 cars. Which one's lighter? Well, this one's going to be a lot lighter. And we've talked about this before also, but let me give you some help on this. A gram is about the weight of a paper clip. There's my bad picture of a paper clip. So 3 paper clips or tons, just think of a car, 2 cars. 3 paper clips or 2 cars. Well, 3 paper clips is going to weigh a lot less or be lighter. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching.